Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and today we're going to be reviewing the brand new Epiphone Newport bass. Let's do this. This is the Newport bass from Epiphone, a modern reissue of a 60s classic. Featuring a beautiful California orange finish over this mahogany body. I question the actual use of mahogany on these bodies like the Epiphone EB-0. This is kind of all painted up and the grain sort of looks like mahogany. I'm not gonna point any fingers or anything, but questionable. So we have a mahogany body and a mahogany short scale set neck. Unlike the Epiphone EB-0, which this is kind of almost a middle ground between that and an embassy, this is a set neck where the Epiphone EB-0 is a bolt-on bass. In the neck position, we have an Epiphone Sidewinder mudbucker here, and in the bridge position, we have an Epiphone TB Pro pickup. Now, in regards to modding this bass with these pickups, I made this mistake with the Embassy. These pickups are smaller than the USA Thunderbird pickups, so aftermarket pickups like EMG will not fit this bass. That being said, this is a really nice sounding pickup, and I really liked the tones in the Epiphone Embassy as well. The controls are the same as that of the Embassy, and you have the same style knobs with a master volume control, a master blend, and a master tone control. You have the same Thunderbird style two-piece bridge that you see on the Epiphone Embassy, and we will be swapping this out with a hip shot as well as some tuners in a future video. There is a compatible hip shot model. I believe it will work. Again, separate video, we'll talk about that at another time. Moving up to the neck, this is a short scale mahogany neck with an Indian laurel fingerboard. We have 20 frets at a 30.5 inch scale, well 30.47, whatever, who cares, and a 12 inch radius. Upper fret access is actually pretty rough given the shape of the body, and you really can't comfortably access anything above like the 17th fret. And then moving up further on the neck, we have a 41.5 millimeter nut width on this modern C profile neck, and the nut material is PVC, pretty cheap. And then moving up to the headstock, we have a black headstock facing with a screwed on Epiphone bikini logo and 4 die-cast tuners. Now let's go ahead and turn this bass around. Around back, there's really not much to see here. We have a small control cavity, the orange finish, and you can see the set neck attachment here, the back of the neck, and these 4 die-cast tuners. The quality of the tuners is rather low. They are not very accurate and they do slip quite a bit. I am not a fan, but we will be replacing these with some hip shots. And how much does the Epiphone Newport weigh? This bass comes in at 7.8 pounds, which is on the lighter side for a short scale. That being said, if it balances anything like the Epiphone EB-0, that won't really matter too much because those things neck dive like no other. So let's go ahead and see how this bass balances. In the lap, this bass balances pretty well. Here, it's fine, like it's just leaning against my body. There's no neck dive here. Very well balanced overall. In the lap with the strap, it is still well balanced. If I move it over here, it's still pretty well balanced. I'm not really having it to fight the neck. I don't really feel it falling towards the ground at all. And then standing, there's absolutely no neck dive. And how much does the Epiphone Newport cost? These basses are coming in right now at $379, which is about, I think, what, $90 more than the Epiphone EB-0, their basically entry-level solid body model. For that extra money, you have a better bridge design, though this is not great. It's better than the 3-point, and you have a really nice bridge pickup. You have a set neck design over a bolt-on. You have much nicer color options, better balance, a more appealing body. What's there not to like? Well, let me tell you a little something about Epiphone quality control. I purchased this bass from Sweetwater and I purchased an Epiphone Jack Cassidy from Zounds. Both great retailers, and I'm definitely doing business with them again. However, the quality control on this Epiphone Newport is simply atrocious. First and foremost, out of the box, the bridge pickup looked like this. It was quite slanted, and I had to remove the pickup, adjust the foam, and one of the pickup wires was actually just rammed under the phone and causing it to compress unevenly and causing it to tilt. So not a very good look with Epiphone quality control. On top of that, the setup out of the box is absolutely atrocious. The action was really high, and the nut was really highly cut as well. I mean, the action at the first fret was very, very high. I had to spend almost 45 minutes with a nut file to get this thing where it needed to be, and that's not something I usually have to do, even on a cheap bass like this. On the Epiphone Jack Cassidy, we had pokey fret ends, and one of the bridge inserts was coming out, and it looked like this. That required a good amount of work as well. I had to remove the insert, glue it back in, and file all the fret ends. And that's not something I'd normally do at a $600 to $800 bass, which the Jack Cassidy is. So yes, be wary of the Epiphone quality control, and one of the biggest flubs of this bass I will talk about once we play it. And play it we shall. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and pinch that like button so my hand will turn back to normal. Thanks. So that is the Epiphone Newport bass with the Mudbucker soloed. You may be asking, Lobster, why are you soloing the Mudbucker? Because I wanted to talk about one of the biggest QC flubs, which is probably going to be impacting a lot of these basses, is that the pickups are wired out of phase. Let me just show you how out of phase these things are. Yep, so that is both pickups together. Here's the bridge pickup. Great sounding bridge pickup. Muddy Mudbucker is, what you expect with one of these. And then at center, it is really hard to get to those upper frets with this cutaway here. Not that you're really going to be playing up there anyways, but not great upper fret access on the Newport bass. So now let's check out these pickups individually in a little bit more detail, starting with our Mudbucker. Here's what this sounds like, tone all the way open. Very muddy Mudbucker sound, almost like an Epiphone EB-0, but the pickup I think is sitting a little bit higher and makes for a little bit more output, where the Epiphone's pickup is kind of sitting a bit lower on the body. Well, the neck is sitting higher. It's a weird setup. Now here's the tone at 50% with the Mudbucker. And finally, here's the tone all the way down. not a bad mudbucker sound. One thing I have to say is it's really hard to dial in the setup of this bass with this particular bridge. I found that the Epiphone Embassy with its full-scale neck, at least the example that I had, was a lot easier to dial in, and in my opinion just sounded better. The pickups were in phase, and you could solo either one, get a fat tone, and have both together and get a great tone as well. But with these, you kind of lose everything when you go center. Anyways, let's go over to the bridge pickup here, which is the T-Pro humbucker, or the Thunderbird Pro humbucker, which is also found in the Embassy. Here's what this sounds like with the tone all the way open. Not bad. Let's take the tone down to 50%. And here's the tone all the way down. Again, not bad. This is a nice, powerful sounding bridge pickup. Let's turn the tone back up and center our blend control and be disappointed. Come on. Let's take the tone down 50%. So don't get me wrong, this is not a bad bass to play, and in my opinion, this is a nice upgrade over an EB-0, which has a lot of flaws, including the poor balance, muddy tone, the three-point bridge, and it's worse than this in many ways. So I think this is a better bass than the Epiphone EB-0 in mostly every way. However, the quality control in general for Epiphone definitely needs work, and this is a far from perfect bass, but by a long shot. Now here's the tone all the way down with the blend control centered. Let's take the tone back up, and we're gonna go back to the neck pickup and grab our pick real quick. And let's go over to the bridge pickup now. Still the tone all the way open. both pickups together. Yeah. So again, at center, it's just disappointing. I wish this thing was much more of a tone monster than it is, and it is not. I mean, it has the look for sure. I think this bass looks great. I mean, this is like a budget Seric, I guess, in many ways, in terms of, you know, this is very similar to one of the Midwestern shapes, because it's based off of the old Newport, and yeah, I mean, you have the potential here, but the potential is left unfulfilled in a big way. Let's go ahead and slap this bass now, just for fun, because that's fun. Here is the neck pickup soloed. Yeah, neck pickup is not good for slap. Here's the bridge pickup solo. Yeah, I'm just gonna go out and say, this is not really a slapper's bass. This neck pickup here makes it really difficult to slap. And here's both pickups together just so we can be disappointed together. So now let's go ahead and throw some drums behind this bass. I'm going to solo each pickup individually and then we'll have both together. I won't do any slap because this is not a slapper. So here are my final thoughts on the Epiphone Newport. I think that it improves on the Epiphone EB-0 in a lot of ways. We have a nice bridge pickup here that sounds good. A better bridge design, though still deeply, deeply flawed. You can't adjust the individual string heights. Intonation adjustment is kind of difficult as well because you have to go this way. There's a lot of things that I don't like about this bridge. The tuners are also relatively low quality even for the $379 of this bass. They have a lot of play in them when you're turning them and tuning things up, and they slip a little bit too. I've been tuning this bass on and off while I was, adjusting the nut, and I am not having a good time with these tuners overall. So the hardware quality is definitely leaving something to be desired. The build quality overall is nice, but I think that the hardware quality definitely detracts from that because it's really hard to dial in the setup. Also, the nut cutting job was absolutely atrocious out of the box. And again, I had to spend over 45 minutes with my nut file set in order to get this thing right. The biggest detractor of them all is the pickups. Great sounding by themselves. You have the classic Mudbucker sound. I mean, it sounds like an Epiphone EB-0, just louder. And the TB Pro pickup, which is a great sounding pickup. I'm a fan of these, honestly. And when together, they're out of phase. How? Why? Why would you do that?
This really is a unique bass sound. It sounds so different as well to me. To like, you know, straight out of the box, it's like it's its own thing.
But don't fret, because we are going to mod this bass, replace the neck pickup, keep the bridge pickup. I learned my lesson with the Embassy. And upgrade our hardware, both the bridge and the tuners, to see if we can get this thing to play and sound a bit better. But what am I going to rate the Epiphone Newport in its stock form? I'm gonna rate this bass, yeah, 1 claw out of 5. The phasing issue, the poor quality setup, the poorly cut nut, the low quality hardware, there's a lot of things that this bass just misses the mark on so many levels. However, I think it is a decent enough upgrade over the EB-0 because it balances better. You have the same neck pickup here and you can get the same sound overall, but you also have this TB-Bird Pro, TB-Bird, what's a TB-Bird? You have this T-Bird Pro, T-Pro, whatever they want to call it, pickup here at the bridge. That sounds pretty good. But stay tuned for the upcoming mod videos with this little bass to see if we can make it reach its full potential. That will do it for this video. Let me know what you think about the Epiphone Newport short scale bass down in the comments below. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like, subscribe, join our Discord channel, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Epiphone Newport bass. And as always, until we groove again,